Call up Robert Burch, who's the Acting Director of the Office of Education at USAID. And Robert, you've been working in the field for 25 years, and I know 6 countries, a few of which have been Thailand, Yemen, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and the Philippines. But I also have to say, in addition to your role in leadership in the Office of Education at USAID, that you've been a sage and balanced contributor to what our investment should look like in technology and education. Balancing both future aspirations and your own experiences driven from your in-country experiences, but also balancing it with the day-to-day realities of the education challenges we face around the world. So I want to extend my own thank you for your contributing role and support in that regard, and invite you to come up and provide some welcoming comments. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you very much, Tony. So on behalf of the United States Agency for International Development's Office of Education, I warmly welcome all of you to the 7th annual Mobiles for Education Alliance Symposium. Sorry, I had to think about that for a minute. It doesn't flow off the tip of the tongue like Education Alliance, but welcome all of you. The interest in this area remains very, very high. This year we have over 300 participants registered for this event. We have over 100 presenters representing 33 different countries. And some of you may recognize this beautiful venue which we are in today, the United States Institute for Peace, which I think is extremely conducive to the kind of creative thinking and innovation that we are looking for. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Nancy Lindberg, the President and CEO of U.S. Institute for Peace, and also the leadership of USAID, for ensuring that we have a venue like this to hold this Education Alliance Symposium in. I'd also like to welcome today our Ministry of Education officials. They are an extremely important part of the work that we do in ensuring that we use the best technologies to improve education and education outcomes. We have Ministry of Education officials with us today from Egypt, the United Arab Emirates, from Tunisia, and from India. And are there any other ministry officials with us today that I inadvertently left off of my list? Anyone else from Ministry of Education? Great. Well, welcome to all of those who I mentioned earlier. And to the presenters, I'd like to welcome the presenters and also congratulate all of you. As you know, the presentations are selected on a competitive process, and so you all already have something to be very proud of, that your presentation was accepted to be presented here during the next 2 days. So again, welcome to all of you. The title or the theme this year is Future-Proofing Technology for Education in International Development, and it takes an interesting twist. We are asking presenters to project into the future, to the year 2020, and to think about the innovation or the technology that they are using to improve education and learning outcomes. And then we are asking them to think back. What evidence did they need from this point in time to the year 2020 to ensure that their innovation or particular technology is improving learning outcomes? And how did they go to scale to ensure that this technology reaches as many children as possible? Why are we asking these questions, and why are we interested in this area? Why are we looking at innovation and technology for solving some of our education challenges? Because the problem is immense. We all congratulate ourselves for providing access to children to education, but we also know that that education quality is dismal in many places of the world. Children are simply not learning. New UNESCO statistics are staggering. 617 million children and adolescents are not learning reading and math skills, even though 2/3 of those children are enrolled in school. 387 million primary school students out of that number are not able to read fluently, are not even able to read proficiently in their languages that they're studying. So we know that the situation is quite dire, and we need to find answers to these huge obstacles and challenges. And we cannot do things the way we have been doing them for years. We need to look at how we can be more innovative in our thinking, more creative, and how we can apply new technologies to help the field of education move forward. Why is evidence important? Well, we talk about science, technology, and innovation all the time, and we show prototypes of things that have the potential to work and to change learning outcomes in the schools that we are working in. But we often do not have the evidence needed to show that there is proof that these technologies make a difference. We cannot do things simply the same way. They cannot have the same learning outcomes. They have to have better learning outcomes. They have to be better than our paper and pencil models that we have been using for many, many years. So evidence is part of our theme this year, as well as looking at how we go to scale with some of these innovations. You are here today to have the opportunity to talk about the evidence you have collected, what has been working, what is not working, and where you need to go from here to reach the year 2020, when your innovation, your technology, your new way of doing things is having a marked improvement on the learning outcomes of children around the world. The Education Alliance is a partnership, a very strong partnership. I know that for 7 years, people have been coming together and talking about these issues and looking for answers. It is also a platform for discussion and a platform for knowledge sharing. I ask you to take advantage of the tremendous resources that we have under the roof of this beautiful institution and learn from each other, share with each other, and let's leave this symposium with answers that tell us where we need to go to get to that year 2020, where we are seeing a marked difference in what we are doing. I'd like to mention another partnership, the Global Book Alliance, which is also being highlighted here at this symposium this year. The Global Book Alliance is looking at how do we get books into the hands of children that they can understand. USAID learned early on that one of the challenges that we faced in getting children to learn to read was that there were no reading materials, no books in the languages that we were teaching in. The Global Book Alliance is looking for new ways for book development, book procurement, and use, and looking at how technology can play a role in solving this problem. Look for sessions on the Bloome software for title development, on track and trace, and on the Global Digital Library, and I think you'll be very interested. And if you're interested in joining the Global Book Alliance, please see Linda Hebert, who is here representing USAID and leads that initiative from our side, myself, or any of the other symposium organizers, and we'll get you connected to the right people. I'd also like to mention that there are cross-cutting themes that Tony is going to be focused on during these next 2 days. Pay attention to these themes and take advantage so that you can learn more and contribute to topics surrounding girls' education. Literacy, disabilities and inclusion, non-formal education and monitoring and evaluation. In closing, I'd like to take a moment to highlight the All Children Reading Grand Challenge for Development Partnership among USAID, World Vision, and the Australian government. Together, we have been looking at how we can use innovation to help teaching and learning of reading and literacy. And you will find many sessions during the next 2 days that will help you look at what has been discovered and where we are going. Under this All Children Reading Grand Challenge for Development Partnership, we are happy to soon be announcing a new prize, which will be called Sign On for Literacy. This prize will be focused on looking at how we can help children who are deaf or hearing impaired to learn to read. It's important and it's an exciting step forward because we all know unless we reach all children, we will not reach our goals in the future. If you are interested in learning more about Sign On for Literacy, please make sure that you find Josh Josa, who is here with us at this symposium, or myself, or any of the symposium organizers, and we'll be sure to connect you. We are looking for sponsorship for this prize, and we would be very welcome for anyone who is interested in taking part in that. And at this point, to get your interest to catch your interest more, I will show a short video on Sign On for Literacy. Before I step away from the podium, I do want to also recognize and thank someone who is extremely important in bringing this alliance together, and that's Anthony Bloome. And we all know how much enthusiasm he has for this area. And it is Tony who really waves the flag at USAID in moving forward in using technologies and mobile applications to answer some of the questions facing us in our sector. So thank you very much, Tony. I would also like to recognize and thank all of the sponsors under the Alliance, because without sponsorship, this Alliance would not exist. So thank you all to all of our numerous sponsors who are represented here today. Finally, I'd like to thank everyone again for giving me this opportunity to welcome you, and I'd like to welcome all of you and say have a wonderful 2 days at this great symposium. I look forward to having conversations with all of you later on today or tomorrow. Thank you.